Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad, brought to you by OU Health. And now, here's your host, Abbi Bennett.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Abbi Bennett, and sitting alongside me, you should know their names by now, our analysts, Ben Thomas and Shannon Ehrhardt. Now, you guys, it's our last show. How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty excited about it.
I'm bittersweet, but ready to get going.
Yes, me too. Now, looking ahead in tonight's show, our very own Dylan Rivera had the chance to catch up with a dynamic duo on the golf squad, and one of our analysts also had the chance to sit down and chat with the home run queen.
And we've talked about our favorite sports moments of the season throughout Sports Pad, but we're going to give you our favorite tonight.
Yep, and the spring game's on Saturday, and Shannon and I will give you our player to watch.
Now, Shannon and Ben, it was a historic weekend for Sooner Nation where men and women's gym competed for a national championship. Men's golf and women's tennis also had phenomenal weekends, but you guys, how can we forget the women's gymnastics team taking home the national championship trophy right back home to Norman? And Fort Worth on Saturday, the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship went down, and the women clinched their 5th national championship trophy with a score of 198.2. 9 Sooners finished the season with a combined 14 All-American honors. On the men's side, they came in second behind Stanford, where they hosted the championship for the first time since 2015. The men posted their second highest score of the season with a 414.555, and the top-ranked men's golf team won the Thunderbird Collegiate by 5 strokes and notched a school record, tying 5th win of the regular season. 4 Sooners grabbed top 15 finishes, joining the 1989, 2018, and 2021 squads in the history books. And the number 2 ranked women's tennis team took down number 5 Pepperdine at home, finishing the regular season undefeated for the very first time in program history. Now, all of these teams we've just harped on all semester long, but I mean, that men and women's gymnastics team, they ended on a high note, clearly. So do you guys want to run us through what happened over the weekend for both these teams?
You just ran through so many good things that my mind is just going in all directions, but I do want to talk about the women's gymnastics team. Wow. One word to describe their mentality, you guys, is locked in. Locked in. They had 5 consecutive 9.9s to clinch the championship. It was a rocky ride to win, but when is the road to the Natty ever an easy one? The floor performance was a little iffy, but they didn't count themselves out and pushed on every single event. This is Catherine Lavasser's vault, which she nailed, and that's what kept the momentum going for the Sooners. Now, they fed off of each other, and if you didn't see that all over Twitter, she scored a 9.975 on the vault. Absolutely stunning. Now, Reagan Smith on beam sealed the deal with an unmatched performance on beam. In my opinion, that's the most difficult event to do, those 3 inches, nearly impossible to flip over. And the Sooners, they showed grit, determination, and just left it all out on the floor, beam, vault, bars, whatever it is. They did a phenomenal job.
You said they left it, sorry.
No, go for it.
But you said they left it all out there. I mean, I honestly teared up when they won. That was just amazing.
I was crying in front of the TV, jumping, screaming, hoping that Reagan would finish it off for the Sooners.
And she did.
Yeah, and it took that final rotation as well for them, but hey, they captured it like we expected them to. Come on. We all knew they were going to after that upset over Michigan earlier in the year. We knew it was going to happen. But another team in action was the men's gymnastics team, and while they didn't win a national championship, I know, super sad, they did finish as the national runner-up, which, hey, that's pretty good in my book. They made it through the top 3 in the qualifiers, made it to Saturday, where they were able to beat out Michigan, Ohio State, Nebraska, and Illinois, but just not Stanford, who almost beat them by 10 points. Stanford totally ran away with it, but hey, this Sooners team has a lot to look forward to next season. They only lost 5 seniors, so they got a lot of returning guys. They had a ton of experience going through the finals, the qualifiers, and everything like that. And I think this team could rebound next year and win it next year as well. And I wouldn't be surprised by it. Out of the last 21 NCAA National Championships, OU has finished in the top 2 in 19 of them. So I think they're going to be right back in there next year. Another revenge season potentially, but I'm excited for this squad. They finished on a high note, and I look to next season to be that next step. They're going to take that next step for sure.
And Ben, you talk about how young this team is and how well they did. I think getting that number 2 spot, finishing the Natty, is just it really says something about the character of that men's gym team.
Good momentum heading into next year, for sure.
Definitely. Now, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will hear about a dynamic duo on the golf squad, and one of our analysts had the chance to sit down and chat with the home run queen herself. Don't go anywhere.
To you by OU Health. The future of health is here. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Thanks to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health and Anheuser-Busch, and our community partners, Fowler Auto Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola.
Thanks for sticking with us. Now, like I mentioned, one of our analysts had the chance to sit down and chat with the home run queen. Shannon and Ben, do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, Sooner Sports Bed's very own Mady Daddario got the chance to sit down with Jocelyn.
And you know that Jocelyn has done so many things here for OU, but she talks about how much that home run record meant to her.
Today on Sooner Sports Pad, we're joined by softball superstar Jocelyn Allo. Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we know that you've had a super busy season, one of probably the craziest of your life. And for my first question, I really just want to know, in the past few years, you guys have been a great team, but what's made this year so different for you guys?
I think one, just coming off of a national championship is a lot different. And I feel like a lot of the girls are hungry for another one. And then something else too is this team is very locked into what they do, and they have very good intent with everything that they do. So just definitely excited to see where we're going to end up.
Absolutely. And I know sometimes it can be even harder to stay at number one and feel that pressure. And I mean, you guys have stayed on top this whole entire season. You really have not slowed down. How have you guys been able to deal with that pressure and be able to stay on top and keep that momentum going throughout this season?
Yeah, Coach always likes to remind us that pressure is a privilege. So it's a privilege for people to always bring their best at you. And no matter who we play, they're always going to bring their A game. So it's good that we get that from everyone. So that then that way, like as season goes on, it's not like teams are just going to be like, oh, we're playing the Sooners. Like they're going to be like, we're playing the Sooners and we're going to try and beat the Sooners. So yeah, we're getting everyone's A game every game. So definitely builds a lot of experience, especially for these young ones as well.
Absolutely. And now I want to shift it a little bit over to you personally. You broke the home run record this year. Not only did you do that, you did that in your home state. I know it can be hard to put into words, but what was going through your head when you did that?
Yeah, bringing the home run record at home definitely meant a lot to me. And I didn't think how much it would mean to me until I actually did it at home. Every person that had ever coached me, every coach that I had ever had in my life, everyone who's watched me throughout my career, watched me grow up, was there that night. So it was even more special just for everyone in the state of Hawaii just to be a part of that. And then just my family being there, all of my family that had never got to see me play in person before, got to see me play in person for the first time and break a record. So it was top 3 best moments of my life.
Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining us on Sooner Sports Pad today. We are so excited to see what you guys have in store for us for the rest of this season.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Boomer.
Back to you guys in the studio.
We've seen some famous brother duos at Oklahoma, the Griffins, the Selmans, and even the Groves brothers this year. But one pair of Sooner brothers doesn't perform in front of thousands. You can catch the Lorenz brothers on the golf course, and Sooner Sports Pad's Dylan Rivera has the story.
Brotherly love is a phrase that gets thrown around pretty often. For Blake Lorenz and his brother Ben, the two truly embody the phrase. Blake says his brother is closer to him than anyone else.
it's kind of cliche, but it really, he is probably my best friend, and he's the guy that I'm closest to. Just it's just a really cool situation to be able to share something like this and this process with him, and kind of be there to support him as well as he being able to support me.
While they may be best friends, just like all brothers, Blake says they don't always get along.
We do butt heads occasionally, brotherly love, and we do get into it. But at the end of the day, I want what's best for him, and I'm hoping he wants what's best for me, and I know he does.
I decided the Lorenz brothers were playing a little too nice, so I asked them who they really thought was better out on the golf course.
I would say we're both pretty. That's the strength of both our games. He's probably going to say himself, but obviously I'm going to say myself. But it's really neck and neck.
I'm going to go with me on that one. I'm just sticking those irons in there a little closer than he is, I guess. But he definitely hits it further. I'll give him that.
I'm going to say me on that one. He used to be way better than me back in junior golf, but I've kind of gotten a little better in that area. So I'll give that one to myself.
I'd say we're both pretty similar. It kind of just depends on the day with putting. I'll give him that one.
He's pretty nice around the green. He's pretty saucy. He's got a lot of shots around the green. I'll give him the short game one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with me on that one. I think I have a better short game.
I've just been able to see a lot of those situations. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have to, but I think I'm a little bit better around the out of the trees and out of the junk.
I'm gonna go with him because he's used to it more. He's been in more situations where he needs to hit out of the trees than I have because I'm used to coming from the fairway. So.
The OU men's golf team had a tournament in Phoenix, Arizona over the weekend. Home for the Lorenz family. Meaning Ben and Blake's dad got a chance to see his son play.
I've walked so many rounds with my boys. It's kind of a part of my life, and I enjoy it so much. So anytime I get a chance to get out and support them and get out and be with them, I love it, and I take advantage of it.
Dylan Rivera, Sooner Sports Pad.
Now, you still won't want to go anywhere because coming up, it is our last face-off ever where our analysts will discuss some of their favorite spring moments. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It is time for face-off. It is our last one ever. Who is going to win this one? Now, for every single team, for every single season, there are moments made that Sooner Nation and others will remember forever. So, Shannon and Ben, let's narrow it down actually to just the spring sports teams. What moment has been your favorite? Let's hear it.
A lot of good ones. Many. There's a lot of tough choices out there, but my favorite moment, and it might be a lot of people's favorite moments, was the home run queen herself, Jocelyn setting the home run record. So the home run queen still resides right here in Norman, Oklahoma, after Alo beat the record previously held by Lauren Chamberlain with 95 home runs. She got that 96th home run a little earlier in the season in her home state of Hawaii in front of friends and families. And like she said in the interview, one of the best moments of her life. She is now at 109 total home runs in her career, hitting triple digits. Nobody has hit triple digits in history, and she's the first. But she's the heart and soul of this team. There's so many superstars on this team, top to bottom, and if it wasn't for her, this team might not even be as dominant as they are. And she, as the main power hitter, a big voice and captain in that locker room, she is a legend already, and her career's not even over, and that home run record solidifies it.
She could be in the home run derby with ease.
Oh, yeah. I think she could.
And win it with ease as well.
But that's easily one of the best collegiate moments.
I got to transition to OU men's basketball. You guys remember when they played Baylor in the Big 12 tournament? And when they won, they beat the #3 team in the nation. The magnitude of that game was evident from the jump. OU beat them solidly. And we're shooting 33% before entering the game, and then 52% shooting from three against the #3 ranked team in the nation. They had a stellar performance from behind the arc, and it didn't matter what they were doing if they lost the ball, which they didn't do too hot in the first half, trailed by 6 when it came to halftime, but that did not matter. Their ball movement was still impeccable, banging 3 after 3. Now they led by three with 49 seconds left, and Mo put the game away for the Sooners. The confidence soared for the Sooners after this win, and this game, to be honest, is the epitome of Porter Moser. Resilient, underdog mentality, smart, confident. That game encompassed it all, and Ben, it was a game that I, again, was screaming at the TV, rooting for the Sooners to win like usual, but
yeah, how
wow,
could you
what
not,
a game,
right?
What a game to
It was a
remember.
great game, and Porter doing what Porter does best, and that's winning in the biggest moments, and that's very evident of that. We saw it at Loyola Chicago. He brought that right here to Norman, so it was awesome to see him and set that great foundation for next season. I think that team's going to take off.
And the fact that it was his first season and nobody really expected him to go as far as he did, the fact that he did just really proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Now, moving forward, I know that we're all anticipating the spring game, which is just a few days away, and the Sooners have a new coaching staff and almost a new roster. So, you guys, what players should we be looking out for when the Sooners touch the field on Saturday?
You guys need to be looking out for, he's not a signature wide receiver yet, but he will be, Jaleel Farouk. Okay. You might recognize his name from the bowl game. He stood out in San Antonio and seized the moment. If I went out like he did as a freshman, I would be very confident for the offseason. This season, his sophomore year, can be a breakout season. There's so much room in the wide receiver area, and he can fill that hole of Michael Woods and Jaden Hazelwood. He's competitive, and he attacks the ball, but he's also good running off the pigskin. And with the new QB, he has the chance to establish himself. Jeff Lebby's offense is an entirely new playbook, and this is where he can take the reins and really execute here. I do think that he's going to get more touches on the ball this season than last year, and I think that it can be a Farouk Marvin Mims type of situation there. Because Theo Weiss is never 100%, and Drake Stoops has never been really the guy. So I think this is where Jaleel Farouk can step in. Hey, now, he can step in and really prove his worth.
No, definitely. And after that bowl game, he definitely solidified his name in that depth chart. I could see him on the field starting week 1. He's really put a great performance. He had a great spring as well. I think I saw a highlight video of him with a one-handed snag as well.
Yeah.
So he's definitely impressive out there. But my guy is that guy who's going to be gunslinging those balls right to Farouk, and that's QB1, Dylan Gabriel. Now, the lefty transfer from UCF already solidified his QB1 job, and that is because of his pal and offensive coordinator, Jeff Lebby, who he knows very well. In 2019, Gabriel was at UCF with Jeff Lebby, threw for 3,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. He knows his playbook well. He's already kind of got the understanding of what he needs to do with the weapons that he has, but his leadership is the biggest thing to me. That he has stepped in, already made a presence in that locker room, a veteran voice as well. And if you're QB1, you got to be able to take a hold of that locker room, and he has taken it to the max. So I'm very excited for him. I know Sooner Nation's excited for him, and I think we got a good one here. I think he's going to have a big, big year. And number 8 on that field on Saturday, you're going to see it.
You got to put your money into that Farouk and Dylan Gabriel stock, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Shannon, you talked about Coach Lebby too. Him and Dylan Gabriel, going back to their roots, them working together is something I'm going to be so excited about. But now, audience, it is time to vote who you think is winning Faceoff. If you think it was Ben, let's hear it. Okay, you got some fans. If you think it was Shannon, give it up. Cheer louder. Okay, Shannon, I'm going to have to give this one to you.
Let's
You're
go.
taking it
Let's
home.
go.
But don't go anywhere because coming up, we don't even know what our surprise is. So stick around. You won't want to miss it.
Hi, welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm the producer, Junior Prezzo. In celebration of our final show and our graduating seniors, I wanted to look back at some of their best moments on the show.
Tuning into Sooner Sports Pad, I'm Abbi Bennett.
I'm your host, Mady Daddario, and alongside me are our 2 analysts, Ben Thomas and Kaylee Tinglestad.
Ben Thomas and Shannon Ehrhardt. That's Mady Daddario and Shannon Ehrhardt.
Shannon, who else is in the studio here with us tonight?
We have a live audience, and it's Sigma Lambda Gamma, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here.
And they're here to cheer on 2 OU track and field athletes, DJ Smith and Denisha Davidson.
Jake Corley and Josh Heinzelman. Ivana Corley and Emma Staker.
How you doing, guys?
I am joined by a member from our #1 ranked OU men's golf team, Patrick Welch.
Men's gymnastics team, Jack Freeman and Vitaly Guimaraes.
Welcome back. It is time for Face Off, so let's get right into it.
Choose
got glue on the bottom of her feet, you guys. She sticks the landing, and she is not going anywhere. And the fact that she's only a freshman blows my mind.
Arizona, though, kind of known for choking in March Madness. You think, hey, wait, no, do you think this is their year? Do you think this is their year?
I want to know, who's your Sooner MVP so far?
Well, we can't mention Sooner MVPs and not mention the home run queen, Jocelyn Allo.
Ben, that's not a bad pick, and I think we're both kind of wanting history to repeat itself, but I'm going to have to take the 2021 champs with the Milwaukee Bucks and top you with this end.
Well, that is all the time we have for, but thank you so much for tuning into Sooner Sports Pad. We'll be back same time, same place. Good night. Well, thank you so much. That was an amazing semester with you guys. I was not expecting
tears
that.
like
Shout
rolling
out,
down my
Junior.
face.
I mean, I don't even know what to say.
That was awesome. I liked it.
I'm so excited. I mean, I feel like you're not going to miss this.
Breath taken away. Loved it.
I want to thank you guys for being the best host analysts, and to our other Kaylee and Maddie for
sitting somewhere
the
out there in
best.
the audience.
Being the best
We
people
love
to
y'all.
work with, and for our producers and everybody else as well.
The whole crew as
y'all
well.
behind the scenes.
Yep.
Just phenomenal. I mean, but thank you guys so much for sticking with us for Sooner Sports Pad. I'm Abbi Bennett for Shannon Ehrhardt and Ben Thomas. Good night.